Hey everybody, welcome back to Just a Girly Talkin' Wrestling. I'm Sahar. This is now episode 3. Really exciting. This has been so much fun for me just talking wrestling, and I have like 11 subscribers, which I know for some people that's probably nothing, but to me it means the absolute world that 11 people want to hear my takes on wrestling and what's going on in professional wrestling. So it's really exciting, and I'm glad everyone's kind of like joining along and following me through this process. So I love it. Thank you guys for subscribing, and I can't wait for you guys to be with me while this channel grows, hopefully. I'm sure I will be probably canceled by AEW fans or WWE fans. It could go either way. But yeah, so welcome to episode 3. It's kind of just like a review on what's going on. We just had Friday Night SmackDown. We had Dynamite before that. We had Friday Night SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, and NXT tonight. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Um, yeah, I just wanted to like go over what's been going on the shows and wrestling drama takes, because there's a lot of things that have been going on in the wrestling world, like outside of the ring, that I would love to discuss with everybody. So yeah, welcome. And I think I'm going to start off with AEW, with Dynamite, because it was the first Dynamite since Wrestle Dream, since the inevitable BCC Blackpool Combat Club heel faction turn. It was a good Dynamite. Um, Coming off Wrestle Dream, I was expecting a lot more, but I understand that this is a slow build. You know, I feel like they're trying to capture the audience again, get them interested. You know, with AEW, their storytelling hasn't been the greatest, and I know that's a hot take for a lot of people. Uh, in terms of stories, for me, they've had two standouts in the last year or two, and that would be Swerve and Hangman, clearly, and Tony Storm and Mariah May. Those two feuds have been super compelling, and for me, nothing else really has topped that feeling. So I'm excited to see where this goes, like with Blackpool Combat Club. It is very NWO versus WCW. That's what we're getting. And I'm not saying that with any shade. A lot of companies, WWE and every company internationally, have probably done the heel faction versus the company. It is a thing. Like, no knock to anyone. It happens in every promotion. But it's very clear that Darby is the Sting in this scenario, and Blackpool Combat Club is NWO. So it is going to be fun to see how it plays out. I was expecting a lot more brutality in terms of Blackpool Combat Club on Wednesday. For me, it wasn't strong enough. You basically retired one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. That guy's gone. And I just expected more of an impact when they would come on Wednesday. So we have this Wednesday tomorrow. We have this Dynamite to see what they do next. I know Tony made rules for John Moxley when he came on Dynamite. You couldn't see me, but I was doing air quotes when I said rules. But yeah, it's going to be interesting how it plays out. I have a big problem with this only because, look, guys, AEW has like let me down a lot. And WWE has too. I'm just giving that disclaimer. But AEW has a problem with consistency. And I'm terrified they are going to drop this angle or make it not as brutal as we want it to be. Like, I don't want it to be a gimmick. I don't want it to be a shtick, okay? I want it to feel real. I want it to feel raw. No pun intended. But I have trust issues with AEW. Do we all remember the EVP Elite versus AEW? They were going to take over AEW. They hurt Tony Khan. Tony Khan was walking around in a neck brace. It was a thing. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, completely dropped. That storyline did not exist anymore. Tony Khan was fine. Everything was good. Everything went back to normal. It made no sense. You can't drop an invasion angle like that, but they did. And I'm terrified that that's what they're going to do with this. I hope not. I think the players involved are extremely talented. I think the people involved also have this star quality, this power behind them that the elite probably didn't have, even though they had Okada, which was crazy that this didn't work, that angle didn't work, but whatever. I mean, maybe it didn't work because of Jack Perry, but that's my little Jack Perry shade of the day. But yeah, so I have high expectations. I'm really hoping this works out. So we'll see. Am I worried? Yes. But will I still watch and hope for the best? Absolutely. So there's that. We also got to see Daniel Garcia, I think, on Collision. I think they promoted that Daniel Garcia is teaming up with Private Party. I think this is a weird move. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to put Private Party on the scene now, like after their match at WrestleDream. I stand by everything I said on last episode that it was stupid as hell to make Private Party lose and then to call them jobbers in the middle of that. I get it. It's the underdog story. I'm not stupid. I get the concept. I just don't feel like it's being executed because now it seems like the Young Bucks are kind of now going to get in the mix of BCC because they had a little interaction. They also look terrified of the BCC, so you don't know. But I just think it's interesting to have Daniel Garcia, who's probably like one of the hottest stars right now, to be teamed up with another tag team. Let him be a singles guy. Let him show his stuff. Literally, Daniel Garcia has been the talk of professional wrestling for the last 3 months. Was he going to go to NXT? Was he going to stay in AEW? Like, what was the plan? What was going to go forward? And he is one of your hottest stars, and you're going to put him with another tag team in a trios? I'm done with the trios, guys. Please, for the love of God, I'm done with the trios. Let Private Party go do their tag team stuff, win the titles, show everyone how talented and incredible they are. So there's that. That's what I really want to cover. Well, there's more stuff I want to cover on AEW. Mercedes had a really good match. I'm enjoying Mercedes. I think her pay-per-view matches have been really interesting, but her Dynamite matches have been great. So I don't know. Maybe it's the people she's picking to wrestle on pay-per-views or who they pair her up with, but it was a great match. I miss Timeless Tony very much. She is incredible. I can't wait to see her back on my television screen and carry that division on her back like she did for the last year. So it'll be fun to see her return. Moving on to SmackDown. SmackDown was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. I did enjoy it. I think Kevin Owens is probably going to do the best work of his career with the videos he's been dropping on Twitter, because his contract's up. We don't know what he's going to do. Is he staying or is he going to go with his friends? We don't know where this is going, and it's blurring the lines. And I think that's the most compelling television, where you just don't know what's going to happen next. And I think this Kevin Owens is going to be the best work he's done. We all know Kevin Owens is better as a heel. He strives as a heel. And I need to see him and Cody just go at it. After the Randy setup for a crown jewel, which we all know is going to happen, after Randy, I need him and Cody to go at it. And I need to see a different side of Cody. I need to see the Cody that I kind of saw in AEW, that I saw in TNA, that I don't give a fuck. Yes, I want Cody to be a heel. And I know that goes against everything of his character right now, who he is right now. I understand that. But Cody as a heel is something else. And it's phenomenal to see. So I'm just hoping that Kevin will bring stuff out of Cody that I just feel has been lacking. And I can't wait for Cody to get away from the bloodline. I need him to be as far away from the bloodline as humanly possible. And speaking of the bloodline, you know, Jimmy and Roman showed up on SmackDown. This threw me off a little bit, was seeing Jay smile at Jimmy, because a week prior he was saying no yeet to helping them. So it was weird to see him all happy to see his brother, because are you guys fighting? Are you guys not fighting? Like, what's going on there? But it was really good to see him on SmackDown, because Jay's a mover, man. I think Jay's a phenomenal talent. So is Jimmy. It was interesting to see, though, that he definitely wasn't going to help Roman and Jimmy until, and I'm fast forwarding, I may be skipping over things. Fast forward to Monday Night Raw. We'll get back to Monday Night Raw in a second, because I do want to also talk about the Motor City Machine Guns finally debuted, and it was phenomenal. I was really pumped. I was super excited. The crowd was a little half and half for my taste, but to be honest, not a lot of people know who they are. You have to understand that. There might be a lot of people in AEW who didn't know who they were. I doubt that. But, and also, Def Rebel, when I see you, I'm putting my hands on you. You guys are terrible. Thank God your contract's not renewing. Thank God they're not signing you again, because you have ruined it. That theme was appalling. I hate you. Sorry, my rant's over. They just ruin themes, man. They really do. They ruin so many themes. Leave them alone. Leave Motor City Machine Guns alone, okay? It is nice, though, going to see them go against DIY. That's going to be a great matchup, and I think it's the boost the tag team division desperately needed right now, especially on SmackDown. I love tag team wrestling. That's where the WWE lacks, So I'm really excited to see them and see what they do so far. Their first night, it was incredible, and I know a lot of Twitter trolls were like, fucking WWE fans don't even know who Motor City Machine Guns are. And it's like, dude, just shut up. Just enjoy it. Shut up. Not everything is a tribalist shit. Like, shut up. For the love of God. It's not, like, yes, they didn't sign with AEW. I know that's a bummer for you guys. Okay. Just be happy for the wrestlers that they're getting showcased on a bigger stage. Shut up. Be happy for them. Put away your feelings of the company you hate. Like, we all have our opinions, yes, but like, stop shitting on, like, okay, so someone didn't know who they were. Who cares? Well, they're not a real wrestling fan. Who gives a fuck? Why are you gonna shit on someone? Maybe now they're gonna go look and see all of Motor City Machine Guns matches now. You don't know. Maybe they will now be a fan. So shut up. Again, sorry about my rant. People on Twitter make me mad on both sides. But yeah, so that was a great debut. I will now be talking about Raw, because I have a lot to get off my chest. Also, I do want to say this, a little disclaimer, and something I will not cover, and maybe I just want to tell you guys now, is Crown Jewel. I never watch Crown Jewel. It's a personal preference I have of, I don't want to support going to a country like Saudi Arabia, and like, I think it's cringy to have it on, in Saudi Arabia. The whole belt looks disgusting. I just never have partaken in Crown Jewel. So I will see the result on Twitter, obviously, but I personally won't be watching, because, again, not my thing. And it sucks. I'm going to miss out on Kevin Owens and Randy, which I think is a great matchup. And another person who's great as a heel is Randy, and I can't wait to see Randy turn heel finally. But yeah, fast forward to Monday Night Raw. It was, I feel a lot of mixed bags about that Monday Night Raw. Starts off with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins going at it, inevitably leading up to Crown Jewel. The story is good. I think Bronson, him doing what he did to Seth was such a jumpstart for Bronson's career, and I think really helped Bronson out. So it's going to be a good filler feud until we get to him and Punk, because I cannot wait for that matchup. But again, both really talented. It opens with them just brawling in the parking lot. I love a good parking lot brawl. I wish they brought that match back. My fondest memories growing up was seeing Eddie Guerrero in a parking lot brawl, so I'm voting to bring those back. But yeah, that it was a good Monday Night Raw. We're gonna talk about Carlito. That was extremely racist, and I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable, because we're not like WWE is not beating the allegations that it's a like that it's still a shitty, racist, sexist company. Like, why to say, damn, I gotta really learn Chinese. Sorry, guys, there's gonna probably be a major cut in this. I apologize, something happened. But I was on a good roll. But I was talking about Carlito and then the fateful thing of what he said. It was super racist. It was really uncomfortable. And I don't think it was funny to say, oh, damn, I got to learn Chinese. Like, that's not funny to me. It wasn't funny to a lot of people. I think it crossed a major line. But what I can't stand are fans standing on this moral high ground who are now turning this into a tribalistic thing. This racism's not good on either side, but don't throw stones while you live in a glass house, is all I'm going to say. Because most wrestling companies have done some shady and questionable promos, questionable like interviews where I am physically uncomfortable. And I think the one-upmanship is not good, because MJF has had some questionable things, okay, in promos with other wrestlers who do not whose English is not their first language. Okay, so let's not one up each other. It's bad for any racism in either promotion. I think if Carlito came up with that on his own, gross. If a WWE writer told him to say that, doubly gross, because you know better and you shouldn't. And this is kind of like showing, like, has Triple H really evolved? Not really, in my opinion. If he thinks shit like that is funny, it's not funny. So that made me really uncomfortable. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And also on the topic of Judgment Day, something that was really annoying for me to see, like on the same lines of Judgment Day, what was super like annoying for me, like, was seeing Rhea, Liv, and Dom kind of in a story again together. Listen, I understand. I understand it's appealing and the audience does eat it up live. Like, you can tell the live audience always cheers when Rhea gets her hands on Dom. And I know we have the mix of Raquel, because Raquel and Rhea have history together. I understand all these things, but these individuals need their own stories. They need to move on from this. Rhea needs to move on from this. Liv is the champion, and she's been against the same person since SummerSlam. Before SummerSlam, I apologize. Way before SummerSlam. We are tired. We are tired. I need someone else to face Liv, especially for Liv and the title. If you're going to hold that title, you need to face other opponents in pay-per-views or Monday Night Raws. I don't need Rhea interrupting. I don't need Rhea interfering. Let it die. It finished. It should be finished at Bad. It finished at Bad Blood, in my opinion. It's over. The fans are over it. And Raquel, my God, Raquel. Listen, she's a talented girl, but you can tell she hasn't been in the ring for a while. It was a hard watch. Her promos are interesting. Now it looks like they're doing a whole Carlito and her thing. I don't know what's going on. Frankly, I'm not interested. I just need street trash. I'm sorry, not Judgment Day, street trash to just move on because it's not compelling anymore. I need to see Damian Priest doing way more things. We've seen what he's capable of. We see the talent. We're good. Fast forward. I know I'm skipping over things. I'm just trying to get to the main stuff. Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. Wow. That was interesting. I think it was stupid for him to lose. Spoiler alert, if no one saw it. So Jey Uso lost the Intercontinental title to Braun Breaker because the fucking bloodline interfered. The goddamn bloodline. I'm tired, guys. I need the bloodline to stop. And I know, again, please I don't need anyone mansplaining to me why Jay lost. I get it. It's for him now to have revenge, for him to go against the new bloodline and partner up with the old bloodline. I get it. But Jay is on such a hot streak, and we're back to Braun Breaker. Like, come on. There should have been someone new standing out for that title. The Intercontinental title is now super popular. It never used to be this popular. It's so popular because of Jay. The whole yeet thing, fans eat this shit up. I get it. It's for the bloodline. I don't know how much more bloodline I can take. I know we're going to get the bloodline up to WrestleMania because Dwayne's coming back and Dwayne's going to he's going to be on whose side of the bloodline? We don't know. Is it the old bloodline or the new bloodline? Who knows? Frankly, I don't give a shit. Okay? If this comes across the path of the TikTok guy who's like absolutely obsessed with Roman Reigns, I apologize. He probably would want to kill me. The guy who cried when Roman lost at WrestleMania. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but I cried too when Cody won because the story was just so emotional. And I've been a huge Dusty Rhodes fan my whole life because my dad would tell me stories about Dusty. So to see Cody win, it was a super emotional moment. And it was like, it was great. It was a great story leading up to it. But now I'm over it. Okay, guys? I'm over it. Let's think of something new. Come on. We need the bloodline to disband. After WrestleMania, I better not see one more bloodline unless Jacob Fatu is running it. If Jacob Fatu is running it, you got me. Hook, line, and sinker. Because that man has aura that Solo could never have. I'm sorry. Like, I know that's really messed up. It's harsh, but no. Jacob Fatu is the clear standout of the bloodline, the new bloodline. Him and Braun Breaker, when those two faced off against each other, the crowd ate that shit up. I just think it was stupid for Jay to lose. I get why they made him lose. I need the bloodline to end. And I'm sure Sammy's now going to get involved. It's going to be a thing. So, God help us all. I think 4 more months of this? We'll see. So yeah, that's just some like main talking points I had. Non Monday Night Raw, Dynamite, or SmackDown related. Undertaker disappointed me. And kind of, I don't know, kind of just bummed me the fuck out, dude, to see that he was interviewing and endorsing a convicted felon, a man who who sexually assaults women, who don't care about women, endorse him and say that he supports him. It's just gross. I mean, we all knew Kane was a little right-wing crazy. I just didn't think Taker would go down that road. And honestly, it has tarnished a legacy. Whether people want to say like it doesn't affect them or it does, it has put a little smudge on that legacy for me personally. It makes me look at him sideways. Will I still watch his matches? Yes. Not if he wrestles now, I wouldn't watch it because you got to know when to hang up those boots, and he is not the young Undertaker we all know and love. I think the last couple matches he had, we all saw that. So, but like I will still go back and watch old Taker matches. That doesn't really change it. Um, but I do think he is pretty gross for endorsing such a shitty man. That's just how I feel. It really changed his legacy, in my opinion. Uh, and it just makes me sad. Like, fans everywhere are either sad or super excited, wherever you lean. And you know what? A lot of wrestlers have been getting more political, but like it's bizarre to me because they're getting political with right-wing stuff, but guys like Sami Zayn have to be discreet about how they post about what's going on in Palestine, which to me is not fair. And I think the hypocrisy is very real. And I think Sami Zayn shouldn't be making subtle posts when Taker's out here endorsing a convicted felon. Just saying. That's my personal belief. But Jim Cornette, rare W, because Jim Cornette talked about Taker and Kane endorsing Donald Trump. Again, it was something that was super hard for me to see. I mean, probably hard for a lot of people, but Jim Cornette said, another former great wrestler on the list of alien pod people duped by the world's most repugnant con man. Mark and Glenn, you made it this long with everyone admiring you. Then in the end, you ruined your reputations and tried to destroy the country along with them. I'm ashamed for you. And on that subject, I'm just gonna leave it there because I agree with that 1,000%. Other news that was going on was that I recently just saw a piece about Tony Khan that was fascinating. Vince McMahon is looking up from hell, admiring Tony Khan's handiwork. But it said Dave Meltzer's report that Penta's AEW contract will expire without extension, and Tony Khan is not expected to utilize Rey Fenix on AEW television, despite adding injury time to his existing agreement. Penta's deal was not extended. They didn't have the right to do that, so he's going to be a free agent. As far as Phoenix, my impression is if guys are going to go to WWE, Tony's not going to use them. They're just going to be frozen for a while. That is the biggest fuck you that Tony can do. You cannot sit here for years since AEW's conception say you care about workers and workers' rights, and you are going to add time to a man's contract who you are no longer going to use. You are bitter and upset that they are leaving your company and they want to go somewhere else. You are upset by that. So you're going to purposefully make him a little ice cold, lose that momentum with the fans, lose that edge, also screw over his tag team partner, because I'm sure they're going to WWE as a duo, as a package, as a team. So you're doing that for what? Because you care about Phoenix? Because you care about Penta? Is that what it is? Or am I missing the point? This is you can't claim to be an alternative to what Vince did and what Vince created and then be Vince. So for me, if you're not going to use them, just let them go. Just let them go. By the way, real slick of you to skip the press conference at WrestleDream, because you're in a lot of shit right now with the Jimmy Jacobs stuff, everything that's going on. You are in a lot of shit, so you're avoiding the pressers. You should own it on why you're adding time, why you extended his contract, and you're not going to use him. Also, what a shitty way to spend your money. That's like the dumbest thing you can do. Why don't you spend your money on people who actually want to be there? Your production value, how to fix your creative. Maybe put your money into that instead of paying a wrestler who doesn't want to be in your company, who you're not going to use. Why don't you just spend that money on something useful? Just saying. Vinny Jr. Unless the rumors are true and Shane is coming to AEW. That everyone was waiting at WrestleDream thinking Shane was going to show up, and I thought that was like actually like the funniest thing in the world. If Shane did ever show up in AEW, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of daddy issues on that side. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to go to AEW, because your own dad firing you is like a hard pill to swallow. And what better way to get your revenge on your brother-in-law and your sister who got the company handed to them than go to another company and try to fix that company? But there's a reason Shane got fired from WWE. And all I'm going to say is Men's Royal Rumble 2022. We all remember that pain. We all remember that pain. That was Shane. If I would love to know what Shane could bring creatively, it would be fascinating. So AEW wants him, take him. It will be an interesting, it'll be hard to fight off the accusations that they need a McMahon to save their company. Just saying. Uh, it sounds like I hate AEW when I say this. And when I'm talking about AEW, I'm talking about AEW this passionately because I do want it to work. I think AEW is a great place. A lot of wrestlers who probably got fired from WWE or, NXT, they tried out for developmental, whatever. And if AEW wasn't an alternative, they would probably give up on their dreams and give up on wrestling, and we would miss a lot of talented people. I think AEW is such a wonderful place for wrestlers. I just think their company and their business tactics and their creative need some work. First of all, fire Jericho. How about that? When I talk about wrestlers who don't know how to hang up their boots, I hope push Big Bill. Let's move on. Learning Tree needs to go. I'm done with Chris Jericho. I know I'm all over the place with AEW, but again, I do want AEW to work. I think it's so important for the wrestling business, and and they have such talented wrestlers. Oh my God, they have such talented wrestlers. They have fucking Okada. Stop making him into this gimmick EVP bullshit. Like, I need him to be ruthless. I need him to be insane. I can't wait for Kenny to come back and beat the living shit out of each other, and those two have like one of like classic matches. So again, I am rooting for AEW, guys. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I really am. Um, but yeah, guys, this was episode 3. Thank you all for listening to my insane ramblings. I appreciate every one of you who listened, likes it, comments. I'm not going to tell you to do those things, your choice. But thank you all so much for just joining me in this ride, and love you all, sending you all a big hug, and thank you guys for listening to Just a Girly Talkin' Wrestling. See ya, guys. Bye.